Hello guys and welcome to MRC X-Treme. We are here in China. We've just seen a wild tier 3 race which, yeah, it was very interesting. Battles all the way and then a battle for the win all the way until the end between Abanash and Nels. And I'm sure X-Treme will deliver like it always does. We always see big fights in here because, well, in some ways it's the equivalent to tier 1 where there's constant battles in that tier. But we have battles in all 3 tiers essentially in this one race. So yeah, it's going to be interesting. Tonight I'm joined by, well, a man that joins me nearly every week these days on X-Treme. It is Nev. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. And yeah, no Ben tonight, I've noticed. Which
Yeah, that's my
might,
one disappointment.
well, maybe disappointment, but also it might open the door up to some other drivers to feel like they might have a chance to win a race. Because I feel like every time we comms together, Ben just kind of walks away with it.
Yeah, but I'm going to miss my like weekly prediction of where he's going to be at the end of that one.
Yeah, we do miss out on that.
So
Yeah, we'll have to maybe try for someone else.
Martin
So
just
it won't
said
be as
rain late
interesting.
race. That'll make it a bit juicy.
Okay.
So
Yeah, and overcasting quali, but not necessarily any weather in quali, not by the sounds of it anyway.
well, I mean it's not raining now, so if they can get their laps in reasonably quick, they'll be fine either way.
That is true.
But yeah, this is I think to put it politely, this is a difficult track.
Yes, very technical track, very setup focused. I feel around here, and similar to what we were saying last week, I feel in Melbourne. There's a lot of there's definitely some long straights, but there's also some very technical fiddly corners which require very specific style of driving, I find, and yeah, also just the car needs to be well hooked up on the track to make sure you get the most out of it. So it should make things interesting, and overtaking is very much possible on this track with the very long DRS straight in sector 3.
Yeah, definitely is. Well, I believe not this season, of course. Well, Baby Hornet's got no skill because he's just spun it under the on his outlap down a straight. So that was talent. But I believe in real life F1, not this season, the season before, there was the most overtakes in an F1 race that wasn't in the DRS zone.
Alright.
So I think it was like 29 non-DRS overtakes in that race, which is kind of wild because you've also got the opportunity out of 3 down to turn 4, where obviously it's very traction related, but you can outbrake the car ahead of you into that corner, so an overtake is somewhat possible there. So yeah,
And that's very famously where Ricciardo got past Bottas a few years ago.
That's still one of the best moves I think I've ever seen. Like, to get in that gap as well. It wasn't a big gap he had to go into there, was it? It was, yeah, that was prime Daniel Ricciardo for the win that day. Bearing in mind that weekend he had all sorts of engine issues as well. Nearly didn't make qualifying. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Just,
impressive.
I don't understand to this day how he actually got the car slowed down, because it looked like he was just carrying too much speed, but he's just had some magic under that left foot in the brake pedal.
Well, I honestly thought, because when he went up the inside, Bottas was still moving right as if he was going into him, and I was more thinking, how has this not ended up in a crash? But what do I know? When you've got the talent, there's still, I don't think there's a more talented driver in F1 history on the brakes than Daniel Ricciardo. Some of his moves were just absolutely sublime.
Yeah,
So,
definitely.
Bailey a 31.7 into P2. Armar Red's gone quickest with a 31.2. Panizza a 31.8. So good times coming in quite early here. I think a 30 will definitely be the aim for pole here, without a doubt. I mean, barely 31.7 on mediums, you'd like to think you can get a 30 with that. Bobo's just on PT with a 31.3. So,
We've got Saviour just on the back straight in sector 3. He was very quick last week in Australia and has been very quick for, well, forever in MRC. So let's see what he can do coming up to the line.
well, he did have his little drop off when he first changed it, but wow, there you go. Well, there's my prediction of a low 30 pole. I mean, he's pretty much in it already. So, yeah. It's just a shame Liam Lawson can't get that Red Bull to work the same way Saviour can.
Well, if Saviour's going to be the Max Verstappen of this Red Bull lineup, then Smith might need to start worrying, because he is the slowest of the guys that have set a time so far, so not such a good omen for him, but hopefully he can improve.
Helmet's watching.
Yeah.
And you're dead.
Yeah, you're going to be replaced by Doris in the RB if you're not careful.
Yeah, I was going to say you won't be replaced by me, so don't worry about that, because it'll only get worse if you put me in that car. But Jules is the next man who's going to be on a lap. Well, he's on a lap, but he's going to be one of the next ones to cross the line in his McLaren. Oh, he's lost it. The Connor curse is back again. In my favourite corner in the world. The bank corner.
Yeah, you were saying before we went on air about that one, and yeah, the traction there is not very nice, and I don't know if that really makes a lot of sense, really, especially as you're building up a lot of speed through that corner, and I don't know, I feel like the banking should actually help with the grip, but it doesn't seem to do that.
It's so weird, because when you look at like the ones in Zandvoort, they don't even have as much speed, but it's so much easier to carry more speed through there than it is through the banking without having to upshift or downshift or anything. Like, it almost makes no sense.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I just can't get on with that corner personally. I think a lot, well, based off Jules, he's obviously one of the drivers we know are very, very quick in this league. And even he's just had a moment there, and that's in qualifying. So it shows even the best can lose it through there. So now I feel a bit better about myself, so thanks, Jules. But yeah.
That was why he did it, just to make you feel better.
Yeah, he heard our party chat just before we went live. But Ant is up to P5. He's done a 31.7. Interestingly, he's done his on soft. Chris Bailey did his 31.7 on mediums. So Bailey's definitely on the chase. I believe Bailey's also the championship leader now, if I'm not mistaken. So could the curse of Bailey championship rot finally be coming to an end? That's a question for another day, I guess.
Well, it's certainly a good opportunity with obviously no Ben, as we've mentioned. Definitely opens the door for other drivers, although he's got quite a bit of time to make up on Saviour at the moment. And Armour Red, you know, having a great session so far, being in P2 ahead of a lot of Tier 1 drivers, so Armour looking very solid at the moment.
Yeah, he's I would say he's, well, I remember when he joined the league and he was like full assist racing line, and that was only 2 seasons ago, and his first season of racing in MRC, bearing in mind he just turned all assists off, he won the X-Treme Championship. So yeah, he's definitely the driver who's improved the most, especially over this game. Like, unbelievable. And he's such a good guy as well. He really is. So.
And he is actually Chris's closest championship contender as it stands. He's only 3 points behind.
Yeah. So it's going to get juicy between those two, that's for sure. But it puts the pressure more on Chris, because Obviously, Armar's only fighting essentially the tier 2 guys, whereas Chris has got to fight, you know, Saviour, Bobo, and I think they're the only tier 1s in the lobby. Oh, and Baby Hornet. So Chris has got a lot more stress. Chris will at least want a P2 today, to say the least. But let's go and have a look at Chris, because obviously he's doing his first soft lap now. Let's see what he can do. Can he get anywhere near that time of Saviour? He's got to gain over a second though from medium to soft. I don't think that's the delta really. I don't think there's actually that much of a big delta between the mediums and softs at this trail, which is a bit wild to say, but if I remember rightly, there isn't. But let's have a look. What's Chris going to do? A 31-1 that pops him onto the front row, at least for now.
Still half a second off of Saviour on his very first run, and Saviour's about to start another lap, so he might even extend that gap when he's finished it.
Let's see. It's been a running theme with Chris
as well.
Yeah, definitely. It's been a running theme with Chris though in X-Treme, isn't it? Where he's done his lap on mediums and then hasn't actually gained that much when he's gone to softs, has he? To be honest.
Yeah, and Armour Red's come back again, straight back into second place, and only just a couple of hundredths of a second ahead of Chris. But yeah, Armour is not messing around today. He's trying to stick it on the front row. Yeah,
I'll tell you what. I'm almost like, should we just let Armour fight for this championship genuinely? Like, forget fighting with the tier 2s. Let him go up against the tier 1s for this championship, because he's clearly got the pace to be mixing it with them.
Yeah.
So
maybe a sign for next season for Armour to make that switch up to tier 1.
Well, I could be wrong, but I believe he's currently a full-time tier 2 and a full-time tier 1 driver currently, because there are a few seats in tier 1 that needed filling, but we also didn't want to take him out of tier 2 as he's got title hopes there. So it's like, but we will definitely see how it plays out, but he could end this season very much a double champ, let's just say that. Now you never know what F125 could bring. He may be even more close to the front, so who on earth knows. But let's go and have a look at Saviour. He's just coming to the end of the long straight, so can he extend his gap on the blowhole? That is the question. No, he's got into pits, he's bailed, so he wasn't up on his lap. He must have had a bit of a disastrous lap there. Actually bailed and popped into P4 with a 31-1. Look how close it is between P2 and P4.
Yeah, super close. Bobo didn't actually improve from his first run, so he was gonna be wanting to have another go and get himself up into the mix with those guys in the low 31s.
Yeah, he certainly is. I tell you what, I'm looking at the two tier 3 guys in 12th and 13th, separated by 9 thousandths of a second.
Wow.
So
and that is keeping the Red Bull of Smit off last place at the moment.
Yeah, so already one way to look at this for you, Smit, is you're doing better than Liam Lawson did.
Yeah.
Which isn't hard, but still. At least you have more control. I've never seen, like, I mean, I don't like Lawson, so I'm not going to sit and say I feel bad for him, but I mean, ultimately, I've never seen a person not be able to control a car the same way as he couldn't control that Red Bull.
Yeah, I know that there's a lot of talk about the handling of that Red Bull and how it's impossible to handle if you're not Max Verstappen, but I don't think that's an excuse for qualifying dead last, to be perfectly honest. I feel like that was embarrassing in China. For it to happen twice is just, yeah.
And then not really make any places in the race. I mean, in the sprint he made places, but he bumped the car on every single lap. And then Yeah. Martin just said this season is infected with so many tracks I can't do. Preach. That's what I'll say there. Preach. But Blowhole is back out on the track. He's about to start his lap. Can he get in the 30s and at least ahead of RR Red? Because otherwise this could prove to be the bane of his existence.
Yeah, he's not got a lot to make up to get ahead of Armar, but then I'm sure Armar's going to have another go before the session ends, so Chris has really got to deliver here.
Yeah, I'll tell you what is weird though, the line that you have to take for turn 1, I've seen a lot of people take different lines. I like to go wide on the first part and then make the apex for turn 2. And then almost swing it back in. I think that's the best line for turn 1, but Chris is a 10th and a half up in the first sector.
Yeah, the thing about turn 1 is that the actual apex of the corner is so late. It's, you know, it's right at the end of the coil pretty much. So before that, you just kind of, I don't know, take whatever line you feel like you have to make it work. Chris has backed out of his lap.
Yeah, that's strange. I didn't know there was any visible. I don't know if he maybe got put off by the fact there was cars coming up behind him or something. I don't know, but yeah. I mean, he's got time to go again. That's the most important thing for him. But let's go and have a look.
Hope he hasn't used too much battery.
Oh yeah, let's hope. No, the battery does recharge very quickly. I will say that, I did notice that. But let's see what Panizza can do. He's a man who's good friends with a certain Damiano Ugioni. So if that's an omen's there, but I hope that Ugioni at least reaches out and tries to teach him.
I think Doris might have crashed on the exit of the final corner just as he was about to start a lap.
Either that or it was in the pit lane. It was one or the other. But
yeah, looking at the track map, it did look like it was near the final corner.
Yeah, it definitely did. Panizza's just invalidated his lap, so I've cursed him. Bobo is just starting his lap, but he took a really weird line down the straight, which has probably hurt him a little bit. Actually, how far around is Chris? Let's go and have a look at Chris. He's only marginally up in the first sector. Look, this lap is what counts for Chris now, though.
He's got Saviour just in front of him as well to chase.
Yep, he certainly has. He'll be hoping for a toe. I wonder if that's why you backed out last time, so he could get the toe down the back straight.
Yeah, it could well be.
And also so he didn't give Saviour, for example, a toe.
Yeah.
It's going to be a distant toe, though. That's the thing. It's not going to be like a... But the thing is, he's not even actually going for it, really, the toe. So, Rassam's out the session. So let's see. He was only marginally up at the end of the middle sector as well. So has Chris found enough? Armar didn't improve. So has Chris got enough in the tank to at least put it on the front row? Yes, wow, but he didn't improve by a lot. Let's see what Ant's doing. What is Ant doing? He's the man in P4 at the minute. Is he going to have enough for the front row?
It looks like he's about 3/10 up so far. So if he can keep that up, he should be comfortably ahead of Chris and Armar and just a little bit behind Saviour.
Yeah, Saviour did his banker lap and couldn't beat it. Oh, he's gone wide. Oh. How is that not invalidated? And he's gone part. I want to question that one a little bit.
Yeah.
You do gain a lot of time because you can carry so much more speed through that corner.
I wonder even if that was a visual glitch for us, maybe, because there's no way that he didn't gain the advantage there if he did take that line.
Well, yeah, exactly. But pole position is Ant, second Saviour, third is Chris Bailey, fourth is Armar Red, fifth is Bobo, sixth Jules, seventh Lorpy, eighth Panizza, ninth Doris, 10th Single Track, 11th Baby Hornet, 12th Smith, 13th, Dan, and the 14th is Rassam. Do you want to make a wild prediction at who's going to win?
Armour red.
What? Win the whole race?
Yeah.
Fair play. Chris Bailey won't be all for him right now, but hey.
That's okay, I can live with that.
I think it's a good shout. But I'm going to go for Bobo. I feel like he might just... His race pace is always way better than his quali pace.
Yeah, it's a bit of a surprise not to see him right up at the front, but yeah, plenty of time to make that up. And we know that there's going to be some rain towards the end of the race as well, which could make things interesting and mix it up.
It does make you wonder though if half the field now may just start on the hard tyre.
Yeah, it would make sense if the rain is coming quite late on, but it could be one of those where you look at the forecasting qualifying and it looks like there's not going to be rain till right at the end of the race, and then you get into the actual race session and it's coming up, it could be like halfway through, in which case mediums might be okay.
Yeah, quite possibly. But yeah, it literally all depends how late or when the rain's coming, doesn't it, really? According to Martin, it was at the end of the race, so that sounds to me like last couple of laps, but who knows with this game? It says you one thing and then usually produces another, doesn't it? So
yeah, and the current weather is looking pretty clear, so it's going to take a while to have those clouds forming.
yeah, it certainly is. I mean, in Tier 3, I never actually checked the weather before my race in Tier 3, which I know that's pretty dumb. But it started to cloud over with about 7 laps to go. And at the end point, it was really dark. And I was like, oh my God, imagine if it rained and I was not remotely prepared for it. That would have been stressful. But yeah, we are in 5-minute break, so we will be going, well, I'm guessing soon enough. I don't know what time we're actually going here. What time did Simon say? Well, he did not give a time. So
Just said don't ready up. Helpful.
well, my prediction is 21:13, being as he put that at 21:08. So that would be my prediction. But yeah,
is this replacing your Ben predictions?
Well,
what time we're going to ready up?
I mean, no, because I know what Simon's like and he'll deliberately screw me over. So my new prediction is, what lap will Baby Hornet DNF? Now I'm being 100% serious, and I'm going with lap 7.
Oof.
Trust me. When he DNFs, you're going to understand why I said that now. But hey.
Well, I'll say lap 10.
Lap 10, okay. But, yeah. So, Simon, you better DNF now. And DNF early as well. No, to be fair, this is a track that's actually kind of hard to DNF at because the walls are fairly far away from the track in the most part. So.
Yeah, possibly I'd say the best place, but the most likely place would be off the final corner if you lose the back of the car and spin off to the left, because the walls there are a bit closer.
Or even out of the at the end of the long straight. That is also another possibility if you lose traction on the exit. But they're the only 2 real places. Oh, and out of 3 as well. That's a possibility if you lose traction there. But other than that, if you DNF here, you're pretty talentless. So, yeah. I mean, even I got to the end of a race. So, if someone else can't, I'm pretty worried for you. But we should be going soon, as Simon giving a ready up message. Yeah, it's 21:13, Simon. So, yeah, there you go. See, I called that. Spot on. Now he just needs DNF lap 7, then I'm psychic. But let's have a look at tyre stretch. Oh yeah, quite a lot have gone for the hard. But I will say that was the recommended strategy anyway.
Interesting that Ant has gone for mediums. I know Ant is the tyre whisperer, but I don't...
Yeah, you can usually guarantee that Ant is going to be the driver that goes for the hardest compound.
Yeah.
So he's playing mind games with the commentators. That's what he's doing. He's luring us into a false sense of security. Bailey's on the hard. Armar Red gone for the mediums though, so it's good to see he's gone aggressive off the start in P4.
Yeah, it should mean that he has an opportunity in the first few laps to potentially get ahead of Chris and Saviour while their hard tyres are warming up and won't be as fast.
I do also wonder, so being a single track was personally told us it's going to be rain late in the race. He's gone for mediums off the start, so I wonder if it's not going to be as late, the rain. Either that or it's going to be ridiculously late and the strategy doesn't matter.
Yeah.
So, definitely, well, we're soon going to find out. But have you seen the gap between the last Ferrari and the Red Bull, and the kicks, by the way? There's a big old gap.
Well, also the Saubers are meant to be the last two places on the grid, and they've got 2 cars behind them somehow.
Yeah, I don't think Panitz is in the session, so I think that's part of the reason. And then maybe Smith just wanted to be at the back. I don't know, but yeah, I know Panitz
fulfilling the Red Bull tradition.
Yeah, he wants to be Lawson. What can we say? Not sure why, but he does. But let's go on board with Saviour for the race start. Let's turn everything off so we can see. Ant just said high or wide on the grid. That's brave. Imagine the lights went out when you did that. Right, 5 red lights, and we're racing. It's a good getaway from Saviour, but he's had a bit of wheel spin in the second phase. Ant's had a bit as well. He's lost it a little bit off the start, but we are all good at the minute. Everyone seems to, well, at least be okay early stages. Armar, look at the start from Armar Red.
Yeah, with the ability to get his heat into the mediums a bit better, that was always going to be an opportunity for him. But Saviour is going to defend with all he can to stop him getting through, I think.
Yeah, he was very racy around the outside, trying to go around the outside of turn 3 on Saviour there, but he backed out quite sensibly. But I wish I'd caught more of his start there, because he must have got an unreal launch to get ahead of Chris like that and alongside Saviour. So, yeah, but everyone seems to be at least alive at this stage and getting around the track okay-ish, so.
Oh, and Jules has gone off at your favourite corner, the banked corner.
Oh, he did that in qualifying.
Yeah, and that's dropped him right down.
Yeah, I'm going to call that the Connor cursing corner, because I hate it. But, yeah, and now he's under pressure from a kick Sauber of Rassam, who looks like he's also going to get him. Possibly, no, Jules has got just enough in the tank, I think, to stay ahead. As you know, Rassam has sent it. Oh, there's a crash ahead. The Williams has gone into the back of someone and lost his wing.
And he's carrying on with wing damage.
I don't think he's in control of his car, if I'm honest.
Well, if it is the AI, that's a weird decision even for the AI to...
Oh no,
he's lost an end plate completely.
Because he's not ghosted, so he is in the session. But I wonder if it only just let him take control of his car as that happened.
Maybe.
Because he was ghosted on the exit, so... Yeah, he's got the same level of wing damage as Charles Leclerc had. And Charles Leclerc actually had quite good pace without a wing, so I wonder if it'll be the same for Finizza. Oh! Saviour's had a huge moment! How would...
That's very
Oh, because he
surprising.
kept that out of the wall. That was strange, the point he had. I don't know if you caught much of it, but that was like mid-corner. His car just totally just decided to snap on him and go the opposite way. That was very weird.
Well, I was on broadcast. Oh, and Smith is out. That is on track though.
Yeah, that's a retirement on track. I wonder if that's a connection loss because his car's still moving. So I wonder if that's a loss of... Yeah, it was. Look, he's just rejoined the session. It was a loss of connection.
Oh, but so he's lost. Lost connection, but retired from the race. So that's him out completely.
Yeah, that's so unfortunate. But that's not a penalty. That's the game that's done that. So, oh, it's rotten luck. But Anta's got some unreal pace at the start of this race.
Yeah, and now Xavier has dropped back. He's got a nice gap to Armar. I didn't see exactly what happened to Xavier. I was on broadcast view, and it just suddenly his Red Bull was just driving on a different circuit layout. It was the way it looked, but yeah, very rare to see Xavier making a mistake.
They win the double left-hander just before the end of the second sector, and he turned in to the left. You could see his wheel turn left, but his car's just gone right. And it was just like maybe he applied just a little bit too much throttle and his car did not want that to happen. And he just went the opposite way to the way he wanted to go. But like you say, it's a very, very rare mistake from Xavier. But Chris has made the move on Armar for P2. Now he's going to set his sights on Ant. So, little insider knowledge. The medium tyres go off around lap 8. They come back to you about lap 11. But they usually completely die after about lap 13. So, Chris will start to gain sooner rather than later and have the better tyres sooner rather than later. Whereas the hards feel like a pretty good race tyre in general.
Yeah.
So,
and critically, if this rain is coming, it's going to give them a better chance of getting to the rain and getting to the point when they can put the inters on without having to pit beforehand. Whereas I can't see how Ant and Armar and everyone else on the mediums is going to be able to get that far.
I think the maximum they'll get to is lap 15.
Yeah.
That's even with Ant. I mean, well, when I say maximum they'll be able to get to at lap 15, I mean maximum with good pace.
Yeah.
Like, they could obviously make it to the end probably if they wanted to, but they'd be very, very horrendously slow. But who's that at the back? Panizzi? Yeah, I don't think he is in control of his... No, he is in control of his car, but he's just kept going... Oh no, he's pitted for a new front wing. That's what he's done. Okay, fair enough.
Yeah, and he's gone for mediums, although I think he was on the hards before, so he didn't have a choice.
Yeah. But interestingly, I thought maybe Chris would get Armar and drive him into the distance, but he really hasn't. Armar's still right there.
Yeah, and Bobo as well.
Yeah, both of them there, ready to pounce at any mistake Chris is going to make. Well, Baby Hornet
caught the back of Lawfleet.
Baby Hornet has 2 more laps to retire. So.
Oh, he's just spun as you've said that.
Oh my god, he's just teasing you now.
I mean, that was right in the middle of the track. There was no chance of him hitting the wall there, unfortunately.
I didn't see it. I just cut off him. But I'd have got very excited if I did. I mean, very sad if I did see it. But Ant is loving this little scrap behind him though, because his gap now is up to 3.2 seconds. So these guys having a little bit of a ding dong behind him is really benefiting him, especially like you said earlier with Xavier out of play now as well.
I mean, we're still a little bit unsure how Ant got away with that track extension off the final corner in qualifying, but it does look like his pace is very good all the same.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I'm still very confused at how he actually got away with it, because he definitely went miles off, didn't he? But, yeah.
Yeah.
Either way, he won't be moaning about it now, that's for sure. Let's have a look at Armour. Oh, I thought he was going to make a lunge in. The thing is, turn 1 is a very difficult place to overtake, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, you've got to basically be at least alongside coming into the start of the turning point so that you can just steal the line. But even then, it's possible to stay alongside and then you get the inside line for turn 2 potentially if you're on the outside. So yeah, it's quite difficult to make a move stick.
Thing is as well though with that corner as well, like even if you're going to make the overtake, you've got to carry quite a bit of speed into it, which then results in understeer mid-corner and then usually results in contact. So it's like,
yeah,
you got to be super in control if you're going to make the move there. I'd almost say the outside line's a safer place to make the move, but
yeah, or just to get yourself completely in front with DRS so that you just take the corner normally, which
yeah,
doesn't seem to happen very often actually. It's not a very long straight on the pit straight.
yeah, that's what I was going to say. The straight doesn't seem to be long enough to kind of be able to do that, but yeah. But these guys, I think they're all kind of happy with how it's playing out at the minute. I mean, actually saying that, look at how close Armour is to Chris here. He's going around the outside. Chris has got the inside, but Armour may be able to stick this. No, because Chris has got the inside then for 2 and then into 3. Thing is, because it's a sequence of corners as well, all into one, it kind of makes it a lot harder as well.
Yeah, they all kind of feed into each other there, don't they? So you can't just make a move in one corner and think, right, that's done. You've got to really put it together throughout the whole sequence.
Yeah, you certainly do. I mean, going around the outside there almost cost him a little bit. He tried to carry a lot of speed, but he couldn't let it run off track. So it's definitely a weird one. But 5 seconds now is that gap for Ant out in front at the minute.
Yeah, you must be loving life at the moment. Absolutely no worries.
Yeah, I bet he's just so glad that Ben's not here.
Well, and that Saviour has taken himself out of the equation.
Yeah, well, at least for now anyway. I mean, with Saviour, anything's possible. But interesting, I'm going to go... Oh, wait, hold on. I'm going to go up ahead because I think Bobo's just about to get Armour. He has. Now I'm going to cut back to single track. So I believe he's about to... no, he's very close to us. He didn't quite make a move. I think Rassam's just caused the yellow flag. Someone has. I think it was Rassam at the banked corner. But Bobo is now the man trying to put on a bit of a charge here.
And Bobo and Chris had a very close battle in Melbourne as well, which I think ended up with Bobo going past but then spinning and hitting Chris, and that was the move that allowed Ben pretty much... No, it wasn't. It was the move that allowed Saviour to get through?
No, it was Ben. It was Ben. Yeah,
was Ben.
And then, yeah, that's what helped. Where's Rassam's gone in the pits? So the stewards will have to look at that one because that is not 5 from the end. But anyway, moving on. Yeah, that Bobo Chris battle was absolutely insane as well because it went on for the entire race.
Yeah, could be more of the same here.
Yeah, it certainly could. But these guys have got to be careful because they don't want to let... I mean, don't get me wrong, the gap for Ad currently is quite big anyway, but they don't want it to get any bigger.
Well, it must be getting close to that point now where the hards start to become the better tyre.
Usually it's about lap 8 they go off. but Bobo's made the move on Chris, so is he the one that's now deciding, right, I'm going to make the charge on Ant here? So, let's see what Bobo has. This is the first time he's been released into clear air as well.
Well, if they work well together, they could try and, you know, just keep swapping over DRS and using that top speed to...
What a move from Chris!
Around the outside.
Oh no, the inside helped him, but Chris will have the inside into turn 3. But Bobo will get the better traction out of turn 3. Oh, there's contact between the two, but Bobo's going to hold on to it because of that traction out of 3. The outside is definitely the better line to have for turn 3 when you're on the exit.
Yeah, as it's proved there, but that's... I mean, Bobo wanted to try and stretch his legs and catch up to Ant, but the battling with Chris would have slowed him down quite a lot.
Yeah. I mean, actually, in fairness, Ant didn't gain a whole lot there with that little bit of a battle they just had, so I wonder if maybe Ant is now starting to feel a little bit with his tyres potentially here.
Oh, Hornet's off again.
Oh, well, I don't care now. He's half lap seconds, so I'm half going.
I need it. I need it next lap.
Yeah. Don't be a letdown, Simon. At least let one of us win. But here goes Chris on Bobo. And he's got the moves done. Interesting how Armar's just sort of sat there like, come on, you two, please just make some contact.
Yeah. And now Saviour is back up to 5th. So he's, well, 4.5 seconds away, but probably closing in on this group as well.
So single track's made his stop, so obviously he's feeling that the mediums have done enough now at this stage. So I went 12 laps on mediums, and I'm not gonna lie, the last 2 laps were absolute torture on them. But the hards definitely are the better race tyre, I can say that.
Yeah. 6 seconds now for Ant, so he is still pulling away.
Yeah, he is. I mean, and to be honest, these guys weren't really wheel to wheel that much last lap, and just over a lap he pulled a second, so yeah. Ant is probably just very much 1 lap managing tyres, the next lap pushing a bit, and then, you know, I think he's playing a bit of 2D chess here, to be honest. I mean, he's in a position where he can as well, because of the fact he's got, you know, 6 seconds. But I'll tell you what is interesting, if you look in the background of the straight at the minute, a certain Mr. Red Bull driver.
Yeah.
He's bringing himself back into the mix here a little bit. So we'll see, but I still wouldn't actually rule Saviour out of this, you know. Especially as he's going to have mediums in his second stint.
Yeah. I mean, the other thing, we mentioned the rain before, but it doesn't look like it's anywhere near at the moment. It's still pretty clear and sunny.
Well, I can't see a cloud in the sky. I'm starting to wonder if we're actually going to get any. I wonder if Martin's forecast may have been lying to him a little bit here, unless it's going to cloud over very quickly. But we're approaching half distance and there's not a cloud in the sky, so...
Simon's let us both down, unfortunately. He's still going.
There's no surprise there, Simon's a let down as it is, but yeah. But, well, I mean, no, he'll DNF now in like 3 laps time, and then we'll be like, great, cheers.
Yeah.
No one cares anymore. But, sorry that you as a result of our prediction, but we had to make something being as Ben wasn't here. So, yeah. But I think Chris is about to get Bobo back. Or is Armar going to get Chris even? Because Armar's looking like... No, I think Chris is now just using Bobo a little bit for his DRS.
Armour's doing pretty well to hang on because, yeah, oh, is he pitting now? He is. He's coming in.
Yeah, I think that undercut could be a very good one from Armar, especially with how much better the hards are to the mediums. So it could prove to be quite pivotal. That I'm surprised Ant hasn't pitted just to be safe this early on, if I'm honest, because he's almost in a no risk zone here, isn't he? Really?
Yeah, he's still not losing time though to the cars behind. That gap is still above 6 seconds. So as long as that gap's not coming down, there's probably no need really for him to pit.
Yeah. I mean, what Saviour will want at this stage is a safety car. Saviour would love that because that brings him right back in the mix. He can put a set of mediums on. The only thing is the mediums won't go 16 laps, so Saviour could probably do with it in about 4 or 5 laps. A safety car, that would be the dream for Saviour. Yeah. But I wonder if that's almost what Ant's kind of like trying to be a bit wary of in case there's a safety car.
Yeah, potentially.
But let's have a look at Chris. He's going to make the move on Bobo way before they even get to the braking zone. So I think this will be a race-long thing, these two, but they've got to be careful. But then they've done quite well to, like, the gap hasn't come down at all to them and Saviour between the time I last mentioned Saviour. So
yeah,
it's getting interesting. But they just got to be...
Armour has gone for another set of mediums as well. That's interesting.
I wonder if he knows the rain's coming then, and he's gone, right, I'm just going to go quick pace to the end here. But the thing is, based off what I'm seeing, this rain is not coming before... I mean, it's still not a cloud in the sky. So to me, this rain looks... They're going to be lucky if this rain comes before lap 25, by which time it's got to be heavy rain for the track to even become wet.
Yeah, it's going to have to be a very, very quick transition for it to really matter.
Because there's no way that rain's coming in the next 3 or 4 laps, is there? Because, like, there's literally not a cloud in the sky.
Yeah.
So I wonder if that's also what Ant's trying to drag his tyres out for, potentially, but I feel like by the time that comes, it's going to be way too many laps for Ant. So
yeah, it's the only thing that makes me wonder about it is obviously that we know Ant is so good on his tyres, but it just doesn't seem possible given that everyone else who started on the mediums has pitted at least once now.
Yeah, I mean, I know my mediums, but then mine was probably also a skill issue, but mine went at about lap 8 and then sort of came back and then totally went about 3 laps later. So
Saviour's in.
Yeah, he certainly is. He's gone for the mediums as well. Our fastest lap, so the only thing is he's kind of just got to hope now that the rain almost... Well, no, he actually does hope the rain comes, but I mean, by starting on the mediums with this rain, he's kind of hurt himself a little bit here, hasn't he?
Yeah, I mean, well, he's catching up to Jules, and once he does that, he'll be back in the position he was in anyway, but a lot further back, 17 seconds or so between Jules and Bobo at the moment, which is pretty chunky gap indeed. And it's literally still pulling away from Chris and Bobo, so he's somehow found a way to just keep those mediums in the window and keep the pace as well.
Yeah, it's very, very impressive from Ant at the minute. But Armar's kind of in a position here where he's doomed if it does rain, because he's not going to gain a whole lot. But he's very, very doomed if it doesn't rain, because now he's going to lose all that time having to pit again. So
yeah,
he's kind of like guarantee. Well, I mean, at the end of the day, he gets the win for tier 2. His fight isn't actually Chris and all that, but Chris has just pitted, by the way. But
He has.
he's kind of like, actually, now I think about it, he's not that doomed at all. Because his fights with like Doris and that, rather than Chris. I keep forgetting he's not tier 2, but he's not tier 1 with his pace.
Well, yeah, but purely for the purposes of, you know, watching the race and seeing an interesting race with the guys around him, which has been the likes of Chris, and he's actually just, well, that was Doris actually. He's a few seconds ahead of Chris with the undercut.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I actually think he'd be in the championship battle on there, even if he was tier 1 at the minute. Because every time we've watched X-Treme or commentated it together, he's been right up there, hasn't he? So,
yeah.
Yeah.
He's on the back of Jules now.
Yeah, Jules has done well to recover at least a little bit, considering he had that moment on lap 1. But I don't think he's going to be able to keep Armour behind him for long on those medium tyres.
No, it'll be the DRS straight coming up. That should be all Armour needs to make it up into 3rd place. And Ant's coming in.
Yeah, I'm not surprised about that at all, actually.
Bobo carries on.
Yeah, I wonder if Bobo is just going to like almost try and keep going, but I just want to say there's still not a cloud in the sky.
Yeah.
Oh, actually there is. There's a few clouds now. Oh, the rain's on its way. It's actually clouding over a little bit down the pit straight, so...
Yeah,
interesting.
A couple of random clouds have just appeared out of nowhere.
Well, that's more than there was a lap ago. So... Yeah. There's probably plane turbulence in the air now. I'm going to find out if the plane just above me just left some turbulence behind it. But hey. But it'll be interesting. So, Ant only came out 2 points. So that was a really good undercut from Armour. If only he was on the hard tyre. Because if the rain doesn't come, he'd be in a very, very good position right now.
Yeah, that is true. Tell you what, this cloud cover is starting to build up.
Yeah, it's almost unrealistic how quickly that's clouding over, isn't it?
Yeah. And it's just appearing. It's not sort of rolled in. It's just suddenly there.
Yeah, it's like blobs just disappearing on the bloody screen. It's like great. But
it's just how Codemasters do it.
Yeah, how do you code in your rain, guys? Oh, nice and easy. Interestingly, Saviour's ahead of Chris Bailey.
He is indeed.
And he's not that far off the lead. On medium tyres. I've missed something here because... Yeah. No, I've definitely missed something here.
We were literally too busy just staring at the clouds.
Well, yeah, there is that, but at the same time, before the stops, he was 4.6 behind Chris.
I wonder if Chris made a mistake somewhere.
Quite possibly, but Saviour has put himself back in the mix here at least. So... interesting.
I wonder if Bobo now is actually committed to waiting for the rain, because yeah, it's been 16 laps.
And it is now, like, look, even in the middle sector, right, there's still blue sky, but there's a lot more clouds than there was. If you look at it, like, where they are now, wow, there's a lot of cloud cover there now. So, I'm actually going to make the prediction the rain hits at lap 23.
Okay. I will say 25.
I just feel like 25 is going to be too late unless it's really heavy rain.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're Armour red, you want the rain to hit and it to be absolutely monsoonal, because he needs to pit again, and
Chris has got back ahead of Saviour.
he certainly has. So this will be. Yeah, I think now for Bobo, he's definitely got to commit. He can't pit now. He'll be able to see the cloud cover. He needs to just go to the rain.
Yeah. And that means he needs it to come as soon as possible, because I think he lost 2 seconds on that last lap to Ant.
He certainly did, but as long as he's in the lead by the time they pit, that's what's important, because then he'll have track position. And then in the wet, it's obviously 10 times harder to actually overtake. So,
well, he's lost a second in the first 2 sectors of this lap, so it is coming down pretty quickly.
Yeah, most certainly is. But we'll see. I think Saviour's about to get another move done on Chris. Down the inside, and Chris will not have any reply to that one. But these two, they're no strangers to each other. They know exactly. They battled each other for how many seasons in a row in MRC? I think it was like 5. So I think they know everyone. Both of them know each other's movement now, like the back of their hands. But Chris has had a look up the inside of 1. He's going to try and hold it through 2, but Saviour will have the inside for 3. But like we said earlier, the traction's actually better on the outside, but Saviour's proved me wrong there and done him.
Chris might come back again though.
He is, but you can't really go running outside of turn 5, that's the issue. But Saviour holds on for the time being at least. Oh, I thought Chris has had another look. He's got through. Saviour had a moment in the. Oh, he's left the session.
Oh,
that's
no,
why.
Saviour's gone. Yeah, I was thinking that looked strange.
Yeah, I was almost like, how has he done that then? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Oh, cross-play strikes again for Saviour. But the rain is on its way. Actually, let's have a... No, I don't think it is. It's not really clouded over much more than it did a few laps ago, did it? It's still sort of the same.
Yeah, it's almost like it's transitioned to partly cloudy and now it's just staying there. And maybe in a few more laps it will go to full cloud cover and start to rain after that. But yeah, for now it's still pretty sunny.
Worst case scenario for Armar right now is if it rains on lap 28 monsoonal, because then he's got to pit no matter what then, and even if he pits inters, he's going to be too far behind surely to make any sort of gap up. So yeah, because no matter what Armar has to pit, that's a guarantee. So yeah,
Chris has got back to him with much fresher mediums now, so he's probably about to lose that position.
Yeah, he certainly is. And he's also closing down Bobo majorly, and I'm watching Bobo and he is locking up into every single corner. But you got to respect Bobo for doing something slightly different here.
Yeah. And it
He's
might
rolled
have been,
the dice.
you know, it still might work out.
It still could, yeah, but he needs... he's probably... In fact, I'm looking down the back straight and the clouds actually look like they're clearing more than coming in. So...
yeah.
If you're Bobo, you won't be happy with what you're seeing there, but Saviour's rejoined me. He's 11 seconds now behind Chris.
And of course, the thing the drivers will have that we don't is they'll be able to check in with their race engineer, and he can say how far away the rain is.
I mean, I asked it rained a couple of weeks ago in a race, and it just started raining, and I accidentally clicked on weather report. And bearing in mind, it was raining at this point. He told me 5 to 10 minutes.
Not very useful then.
So I was like, yeah, well, that's the last time I asked you a question. So, yeah. But hey, I mean, first sector is clouding over a lot. I mean, I'm looking, well, middle sector, I should say. And they're actually kind of dark clouds looking at Bobo. But Ant is now within that DRS, which is going to make it kind of juicy.
Yeah, he's maybe not quite. Oh, well, he might be close enough to do it here.
I think he
If
is
not,
going to be.
certainly on the pit straight.
I mean, I've just looked at an Ant steering wheel, and he's got a lot of his battery. So, no, he's not going to be close enough this lap to get it done. So, maybe he's going to line him up, like you said, for the rundown to turn 1. But then, like we said earlier, you've got to be absolutely spot on to get that done, haven't you?
Let's have a look then.
Bobo
yeah,
hasn't fought it. He didn't even fight it. At this stage, I would have fought that if I was Bobo, because you kind of wanted the track position. But if you look now, it's nearly all cloud.
Yeah.
I think your lap 25 prediction might be correct here. I can confirm my lap 23 prediction definitely isn't correct. So,
Well, unless Codemaster's magic up some more clouds very quickly.
well, considering the sun's still out, because you can see the shadow on the Mercedes, they're gonna, unless they're gonna program in a rainbow, I don't think there's gonna be rain. So, and we definitely know they're not programming in a rainbow when they can't program in proper car handling, so that's a bit of an issue. But let's...
I mean, when you look on board down the back straight, it still doesn't actually look like the cloud is too bad.
No, it doesn't. I am starting to wonder if we're going to get any rain at all, to be honest. I mean, first sector it looks like it's going to heave it down, but last sector it looks like the rain's coming not at all. But
Yeah.
what do I know? I'm not a weatherman, so I'm very weirded out by the lines some of these guys are taking, you know, down the pit straight. I don't know if you've noticed, but they're all hogging the inside till very, very late.
I think that's a bit of an esports line. I think because the track is quite bumpy on what the actual racing line should be, and the cars have a tendency to bottom out there, I think. And that's why they're all going to the inside.
Well, I wish I knew that. That would have been nice to know earlier in the day. But hey, you live and you learn.
Yeah, I think I've seen it in some of the F1 esports races where they literally all just hug the pit wall on the pit straight because it's actually the better line with the bumps.
I have been wondering why, well, Ant and Bobo especially have been doing it. The others not so much, but Ant and Bobo have done it almost every single lap, and I've been so confused as to why they're doing it, because surely they're hurting their turning a little bit for turn 1.
Yeah.
But obviously not. Bobo's stint here, by the way. Absolute, oh, I tell you what, look at that back straight now. On board.
Close.
That is a black cloud above. I can say that with absolute certainty. I think we're about 2 laps away here. So
Yeah, it is still sunny though.
it is, but this game changes very quickly at times. So we shall see.
Yeah, I mean for Armar, he's just got to pray for it at this point, because he's either gonna have to pit again or he's gonna get disqualified if it doesn't rain.
Well, he needs heavy rain. That's what he needs, because if it comes down, at least if it comes, let's say it rains lap 20, end of lap 26, start of lap 27, at least then he's got time to make that time up on inters as well. So,
Yeah.
but let's see, Chris has made the move on the same place he did, but there's contact between the two, but he did it the same move as he did on Saviour, only Bobo was still in the session, so good move from Chris. Bobo's tyres, I would dread to think what percent they are on right now.
I mean, weirdly with the hards, they might not be too bad percentage-wise. They might be 50-60%, so they'd still be drivable, but obviously a lot less grip now compared to the guys around him.
I mean, it was almost a risk he kind of had to take, though. And I think it was ultimately worth the risk as well. But yeah, I don't know. This is going to be super close for rain. Armar's probably sat there saying, please, just pour down now. I'm begging you.
Yeah, I mean, we've only got 4 laps left, and it still isn't even completely clouded over. Well, I mean, pretty much is, but the sun still seems to be out.
It's gone in the first sector. There is no sun in the first sector. That's for sure.
Oh, yeah, actually, it has actually got a bit darker.
But the thing is, it still doesn't look dark enough for rain.
No.
But this game throws some weird curveballs at times, so we'll see.
Yeah, it might well be next lap.
Yeah, which means you was 1 lap out on your prediction. Okay, I'm now at the point where I'm watching onboard because this is actually looking very rainy now, like rain cloud worthy on this game.
Yeah.
So I am now watching onboard to see if we're going to see any drops. But we will see. Armar's right in the back of Bobo now, no real surprise there. Armar will want the track position as well, that's for sure, because now at least when he comes to pitching, he will be sorted. Let's go have a look. There's a battle between the two McLarens down in P8 and P7. So, well, and Doris as well was almost part of that battle. But Bobo's got Armar back, which I did miss. Armar's pit. Don't tell me he's got the hards.
I think he must have done. There's no way he's going for intermediates.
What's he going for?
He's going for softs.
Okay, yeah, that's actually probably, out of all the tyres now, a smart decision because of the fact that at least if it does rain as well, he's on the best tyre because it'll be damp. But he has thrown this race for himself and potentially the win in Tier 2 as well.
Yeah.
Because right now he's third out of the Tier 2 drivers because Doris and Single Track are both ahead of him. So Chris will be getting another 3-point gain on him. But he is right behind Single Track on brand new soft, so
yeah, he should be able to pull this off fairly easily.
Yeah.
And it still is not raining.
Yeah, I don't think we're... we might see last lap. At best.
And
it's raining.
He's pitted for inters.
Yeah, it's heavy raining. Oh, I bet Armar is absolutely kicking himself.
Oh, and Ant's coming in, so it has taken hold straight away.
It's too early to enter it. Soft might be the bravest choice here.
And Chris is carrying on. Bobo is pitting.
Is in. I don't blame Bobo at all. He's kind of got to.
Yeah.
Ant's gone for inters. I don't think they're going to work at this stage.
But rain is coming down quite a bit though. We'll have to keep an eye on Chris's.
Yeah, this is going to be
here very closely.
This is going to be very wild now. I mean, I think Armar's on the best tyre here, personally.
Yeah, he's too far back though, unfortunately, I think, to really
He's going to get
Anything
Bobo.
significant.
Oh, it's going to be close. He's not quite going to get Bobo, but he is right behind him. It's too early for injuries at the moment. Well,
Yeah,
we'll soon
Chris
find
lost
out.
a second in Sector 1, which is obviously not great, but it's not so bad. He's 18 seconds ahead.
Yeah, it's just how bad does that rain come down now? I mean, even on the softs, Armar's looking squirrely. So maybe Inters are the right way to go. Someone's round. I think it's Panizza at the back. Yeah. So... Oh, I bet Armar's absolutely kicking himself here.
Yeah, surely Chris is going to carry on.
Oh! Single track round, I think it is. Yeah, it is. He's at a moment.
Yeah, Chris is carrying on.
Yeah, and hasn't gained a whole lot here. He really hasn't.
No. And they haven't disabled DRS.
Yeah, Bobo alongside. I mean, I think it's right on the crossover point by the looks. Actually saying that, Ant's just gained about 5/10 in the space of 2 corners. But I don't think he's going to be able to make 17 seconds up here, if I'm honest. Chris may have just pulled an absolute masterstroke.
Oh, very nearly lost it though, and there's DRS disabled.
Yeah, I just cut to him. Oh my god, he went so deep, didn't he?
Yeah.
Right, well, we're going to stay with Chris for the rest of this race. I'm sorry if there's battling behind, but he's the one we need to watch. That gap's come down 3 seconds in the space of a sector. So... And he is literally tiptoeing.
He should be alright if he can get to the straight, because then obviously he's not going to lose as much there. And then he's only got
next
2 more
part.
corners.
Can he get through here? This is hard in the dry. Oh, big moment!
Oh.
I wouldn't even apply throttle. If I was him, I genuinely would not have touched the throttle the whole way round. He's got enough time in his pocket. You'll lose more by spinning. I literally would have just let my car roll. It'd have been the safest
He's going to
option.
have to brake. He's going to have to brake early into this hairpin so that he doesn't go wide or anything. I think he's made it.
He's having a wild search for traction, but I think he is finally gonna win it. As long as there's no heroic. Done it. Chris wins. And with a valiant effort late on, will take second. Bobo will be third. What a stint that was from Bobo on the hards, though. Big credit to him. Armar did win it for tier 2 in the end. Jules... Oh, he's actually just made contact with Jules. Panizza's out of the session. He's crashed. Jules is about to cross the line in P4. Armar will be P5. Doris will get home on the hards just about. Saviour not in the session, but is P7. And then single track after his moment managed to hold on to P8, so it's not the end of the world for him. And then Baby Hornet will bring the car home in P9, and then you got Lorpy and Dan who's also going to try and bring their cars home in P10 and 11. But the rain did spice it up towards the end.
Yeah, just a bit. And it's given Chris, you know, the win, and that allows him to stay in the lead of the championship as well.
Ironically though, it will still only be a 3-point lead, because Armar scored the same amount of points as him. So...
Yeah.
I don't think there's a fastest lap point in X-Treme either, so... Yeah. Although I don't actually know. Actually, I think Armar did have the fastest lap as well. But that was a wild ending. I genuinely thought Ant, at the start of that lap, I thought Ant may have had a chance of catching Chris, but Chris just about, especially after his moment at turn 4, Chris just about managed to control his car enough, didn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah,
It couldn't
so
have been. I
yeah.
mean, if it had been another lap, he would have lost it. If it had
By the
even been
way,
another half a lap,
sorry to interrupt, but look at the cloud cover now.
I can't see it. It's just showing focusing on the drivers. Has it all disappeared?
It is blue sky with not a cloud in the sky again. But Chris Bailey takes the win. Anders in second. Bobo is third. Jules fourth. Armour Red fifth. Doris sixth. Saviour seventh. Single Track eighth. Baby Hornet ninth. Lorpy 10th. Dan 11th. Panitza, Rassam and Smith did not finish. Who are you giving your driver of the day to?
I don't know. I, I'm tempted to say Bobo because that stint he did on the hards was very very impressive. Um, yeah, we'll say Bobo. I'm gonna give anti-driver of the day to Ant for bottling it and pitting for Inters and losing the
Well,
win.
yeah, I mean, to be honest, if he had won it, I'd have given it to him because he absolutely dominated. But
Yeah,
yeah, I think the stint from Bobo is worthy of it. I mean, yeah, Armar, I would have probably gone for him as well. He'd have been a contender if he didn't go for the mediums. At the end of the day, that cost him. But yeah, yeah, I think Bobo is a well-deserved driver of the day. But that'll be it for this week in China. We head to I think it's Silverstone next. So
it
yeah,
is.
tune into that on Friday, and then obviously Monday for tier 1 and 2, and Wednesday for tier 3 and Extreme again. But thank you all for watching. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe and all that jazz. But yeah, thank you for joining me, Dev,
Yep, thank you. Pleasure.
and we will see you all very soon. Good night.